Hi, I'm Abby Marr. We'd just like to thank all of you for attending today. We are really excited to have this briefing, Global Youth, a Strategic Investment, and wanted to first thank Representative Carnahan's office for sponsoring this briefing, and thank all of you for coming again. Our first speaker is going to be James Wagoner. He's the president of Advocates for Youth, as well as being a widely respected public policy and reproductive health expert. He's been the president and executive director of Advocates for Youth since September 1997, and he represents the organization with the media, with funders and colleague organizations during speaking engagements, both nationally and internationally, like this one. He's a graduate of Georgetown University, and I'll let him take it away.
Thank you very much, Abby, and good afternoon to all of you here, and to my colleagues at this table with whom I've had the pleasure, a number of them with working for a number of years. I'm from Advocates for Youth, a Washington-based nonprofit that focuses on adolescent sexual and reproductive health, both here in the United States and around the world. And my role today is really to focus on the big picture, to provide you with a brief snapshot of global youth. We're not going to deliver a laundry list of congressional bills that we support or initiatives that we would like introduced. Rather, our goal is to leave you with a case statement for the strategic importance of global youth as an audience for U.S. attention, investment, and engagement. And that case statement starts with this fact. More than half the world's population, 3 billion people, are under the age of 25. This is the largest youth population in human history, the youth quake, as it's referred to. And 70% lives in developing countries. The decisions they make, particularly around reproductive and sexual health, will control the quality of life on this planet for decades and decades to come. Whether it's global sustainability, climate change, building a prevention firewall around the HIV epidemic, economic growth and security, or revitalizing the American brand abroad for generations to come, you can't get there from here without addressing, engaging, and involving young people, period. But the centrality of global youth is about more than just the numbers. It's not just a demographic equation. It's about a cultural equation. It's about youth culture driving global change. For we are in the midst of a technology-driven, accelerated exchange of goods, ideas, and people the world has never seen. Sure, societies have always mixed and changed, but change has never come this fast or moved this far until now. It took television 15 years to get 50 million viewers. It took the internet 5. Youth and youth culture are at the epicenter of this accelerated cultural change. It's their energy, their potential, their music, their language, their style, their ideas that animate this phenomenon. And it is the linkages, the connection found in virtual community that is helping to propel and shape global change with risk, no doubt, but also with promise of overcoming barriers of race, class, religion, and nationality. Simply put, institutions, policymakers, social change movements, and governments need to engage youth and youth culture or risk consignment to the dustbin of history. But a few more facts to flesh out the profile of this historic generation. Education. 86% of global youth of school-age children are enrolled in elementary school, 58% in secondary school. Disparities persist. However, 25% in sub-Saharan Africa in terms of secondary school. Youth are the most media and technologically literate segment of all societies, which places them once again in the driver's seat when it comes to change. It has been estimated by global media consultants that young people represent a $2 trillion market in terms of technology use. Cell phone use among global youth, 70%. In sub-Saharan Africa, 45%. It's the cell phone, even before the internet, that's the major tool for global youth. Internet, 1.6 billion people around the world use the internet, the majority of these being young people. But this global generation has its challenges, particularly on the sexual and reproductive health front. 13 million young women under the age of 20 become pregnant every year. Complications from pregnancy and childbirth are the leading cause of death for young women 15 through 19. 7.3 million young women are living with HIV or AIDS, compared with 4.5 million young men. Nearly half of all HIV infections occur among those under the age of 25, 3,500 per day. Why do we struggle so much when it comes to the sexual and reproductive health of youth around the globe? For the same reasons we struggle so much right here in the United States. First is a lack of pragmatism. Effective prevention is based on science and evidence. We know what works, but we let politics, controversy, and ideology get in the way. Then there is the second-class status of youth. In so many cultures, young people are stereotyped as hormonally driven accidents waiting to happen. You take away their agency, and you take them out of the prevention equation by undermining their ability to self-regulate behavior. Respect is critical. You're not going to reach any audience for whom you show little respect, whether you're a policymaker, a program designer, or anything along those lines. The third factor is the profound discomfort around youth sexuality that we find in culture around the world. In almost every society, fear, shame, and denial compete with health, prevention, and well-being. Deeply conflicted negative social norms lead to bad policies, which lead to bad public health outcomes. On the upside, we know our way forward. We know we should base policies and programs on the science of what works. We should become radical pragmatists. Look at the US. Every year, the cost of teen pregnancy, $9 billion. The cost of teen STDs, $6.5 billion. A lot of savings to be had by following science and prevention. Take a holistic approach. Integrate education with employment, with sexual and reproductive health needs of youth. Solutions don't come in silos. Third, and most importantly, engage young people as partners, not problems. Tremendous potential exists for youth to provide solutions as peer educators, as messengers, as advocates. Build the bridge from tradition to change. They can make change make sense in their own cultures. Two global trends reinforce this reality: the spread of democracy and the exponential growth of technology. Both contribute to the rise of civil society and more opportunities for youth to participate, engage, and make change. In the US, the perfect example of that was the recent engagement of youth in the '08 elections. For the first time in US electoral history, young people displaced seniors 65 plus as a segment of the vote. 18% of the vote was young people, 16% seniors. That's a sea change in US politics. It was also very interesting to note how young people in this culture, in this society, voted on referenda around the country on sexual and reproductive health issues. Young people voted on the side of reproductive health and rights 10 to 15 points higher than the general population. Whether it's Prop 8 in California, the abortion referenda in South Dakota, 3 to 5 of these referenda were evaluated every time the youth vote in this country was 10 to 15 points ahead. I want to just conclude by returning to the case statement. As the U.S. reaches out and engages the world in this new and challenging era, young people need to be front and center. The rewards for making this generation a priority audience will be significant and long-lasting. The penalties for ignoring this generation will be enormous, if not catastrophic. The future awaits us, and young people will lead the way.